big news out of Anthropic and Claude with the release of their new model. This is Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Listen, there's a lot of folks out there that don't know what this is because all they know is ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is great. Guys, if you haven't been using Claude, you have to start now because not only is this their best model, but it's now free and it's beating ChatGPT on all kinds of benchmarks. For example, these benchmarks include things like graduate level reasoning and undergraduate level knowledge and coding proficiency. Now, I'm not a coder, but what I am is a content creator, and I have already been using Claude for all my writing needs. And if you aren't, you are really, really missing out. So just a few of the things that you need to know about this. First of all, twice the speed of the biggest model it had already, Claude 3 Opus, which by the way, I pay $20 a month for. I'm a sucker. You guys can kind of get this for free, which is phenomenal. So again, I don't know how they're doing this. I don't know how they're paying for it, but look, that's not my problem to figure out, not yours either. Improved natural language understanding. It grasps nuance and humor and complex instructions. And let me say on that is my favorite thing about Claude. I use this all the time with helping me write my own newsletters. Here's how I do it. I put in about 5 of my past newsletters and I say, listen, keep the tone, style, format, and humor. Now, when I have done that with ChatGPT, it's been really problematic because when you say to ChatGPT, hey, keep the same humor, it turns, or like, hey, be sort of like really casual. It turns into like goofy dad jokes, surfer dude or something like that. Again, it's better than it was ChatGPT, but it's nothing like Claude. And I was already blown away by how good it is. It's sort of like making my little dumb jokes better than I do. So what I do, again, I upload maybe about 5 previous newsletters, and then I write a rough draft of what I want to say. And I could kind of upload the rough draft into a newsletter. It would probably be fine. But instead of me doing the next 2 or 3 edits on it, Claude does the next 2 or 3 edits on it, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Not only does it keep the elements that I know I've sort of like already nailed, but it also just sort of like streamlines everything, cuts out the fluff and everything else. And the other thing that I do, and this is amazing for creating content with this, with Claude, is that I say, put this into sort of like a format or a step-by-step process or something like that my audience can really understand. Now, I would have already kind of mapped that out a little bit in my newsletter, but it just like titles it and streamlines it and makes it super tight and takes my 4 sentences and makes it into 1. Now, again, because I like writing, I always sort of like do the final like 2 passes on it or something like that. But if you're not using Claude or if you're disappointed by how ChatGPT imitates your voice, no longer come over to Claude. Here's the other thing with Claude that I've been blown away on, which is vision. So I use ChatGPT Vision all the time. I take photos of my screen on my laptop saying, hey, this isn't working. And it's like, oh, sure, Connor, you just have to kind of go to settings and click that and click that. That's great. ChatGPT has that great. But Claude now has that functionality really, really well as well. And the thing that I use that for is to take photos of notes. I love taking handwritten notes. I love sort of like big empty pieces of paper and sort of diagramming things out when I'm brainstorming by myself. But then it still, exists on paper. I take a photo of that and I say, hey, here are my notes on this. Kind of, first of all, digitize all of it. But then secondly, create an action plan for me. What should I do next? And that is a huge game changer for me. And listen, this isn't even touching the new sort of features called like artifacts in Claude, which is very cool, which kind of, it basically opens another windows and another window on Claude. It allows for collaborative coding. It sort of like allows you to visualize things sort of with design, UX design, again, like, coding, things like that, creating diagrams, flowcharts, stuff like that. It's a phenomenal tool that I haven't gotten into yet, but people are already starting to love it. And online, you see some amazing things. And guys, let's not forget, Anthropic. What is Anthropic even famous for to begin with? Anthropic is really famous for safety. So all of this in a model that is by far the safest and most sort of thoughtful model out there in terms of how they're approaching all this. Anthropic is the one that sort of like finally broke up in the black box and was trying to figure out how do these large language models work. Jan Leakey left OpenAI and came over to Anthropic. And he was sort of like the big safety guy over at OpenAI. So Anthropic has what I think is the real stranglehold on that. And guys, Anthropic and Claude are not done. They're going to release more models. But again, I was trying to convince people to pay 20 bucks a month for this because it's so powerful. And now they're giving away an even better model for free. If you are a content creator, a writer in marketing, anything like that, you really, really owe it to yourself to try Claude. I'm telling you, I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised by it. ChatGPT still has a million uses. I still love ChatGPT, but for writing, nothing beats Claude. Go check it out. Okay, if this was helpful, please consider subscribing to this channel, and we'll do a lot more of this.